It's never fun to learn that someone close to you used drugs. You show that they don't care, or even worse, that you're just a means to an end for them. All the while, you keep wasting your time, effort, and trust on building this relationship, only to realize all of a sudden that it has no point. This is why it's better to look for the signs that someone doesn't care. On our journey of self-discovery through Stoicism today, let's talk about something that hits home for many of us: the attitudes of people who use us without caring. This is a subject that makes us feel things, challenges our perceptions, and most importantly, tests our Stoic resolve. We're going to look at 10 behaviors of someone who only uses you and doesn't care about you, from breaking promises to making you feel bad for their mistakes. We're not going to dwell on these behaviors, but rather look at how we can deal with them as Stoics. How do you know if someone is just using you? What are the signs of a one-sided relationship where care and concern are absent? These are important questions that we need to answer, but more importantly, we'll talk about how to keep your peace and self-respect when someone treats you badly. Before we start our journey today, I want to challenge you to stay tuned until the end and not miss any of the lessons. Join me on this journey to find the secret of a Stoic life, a life where stillness, steadfastness, and wisdom are the guiding lights. If you make it through this challenge, please leave your mark in the comments to let us know that you joined us on a meaningful and profound journey today. Now let's find out the first sign that someone only uses you and never cares about you. Breaking promises. Number 1. Failure to fulfill promises. Have you ever put your trust in someone's promise only to be left waiting as the promise fades into oblivion? Imagine the weight of disappointment weighing down your heart and pulling it into the depths of disillusionment. This is what many people go through when others break their promises. What can Stoicism teach us about this? Let me tell you a story from ancient Rome about a Stoic philosopher who faced a similar kind of betrayal. He had lent money to a trusted friend who said he would return it on a certain date, but when that date came, the friend was nowhere to be found. Instead of getting angry or depressed, the philosopher turned inward and thought about the teachings of Stoicism. He asked himself, "What am I in control of?" Now think about your own life. When someone breaks a promise to you, do you let it upset your inner peace? Or do you remember that their actions are out of your control but your response is? Stoicism teaches us to tell the difference between what we can change and what we have to accept. Can you remember a time when you practiced this distinction? How did it feel to let go of trying to control the uncontrollable? The Stoic philosopher in our story realized that he couldn't change his friend's actions, but he could change how he reacted to them. He chose understanding over anger, seeing the broken promise as a chance to strengthen his resilience and independence. I want you to think about this the next time someone breaks a promise to you. How will you react? Will you let their actions upset your peace? Or will you find strength in the things you can control, like the Stoic? Remember that we are in charge of our own inner stage in life's grand theater. Let other people's messy promises be just shadows, and be the steady, fast light shining with the wisdom of Stoicism. Number 2. Disregard for your needs or feelings. In ancient Greece, there was a small village where a young man gave his all to help a friend who was in need. Despite his best efforts and genuine care, his friend ignored his feelings and needs, taking his kindness for granted. The friend who was ignored feels growing turmoil inside. Have you ever felt unseen or unappreciated by someone you've given your time and effort to? This story isn't just history. It's a reflection of our own lives. Today, when someone ignores your feelings and needs and treats your kindness as a given, it's like a strong wind trying to put out your inner flame. But Stoic wisdom shines like a guiding light. Your inner flame, your dignity, and your self-worth stay untouched and unharmed unless you let them be. Think about a time when you felt like someone took your efforts for granted. How did you react? Did you let their lack of interest dim your light? Or did you find strength in yourself? Worth without being recognized for it. Stoicism teaches us that our happiness and peace don't depend on what other people want or do for us. If someone ignores your needs and feelings, Remember that it's a sign of their character, not how valuable you are. How empowering is it to know that you can choose not to let someone else's lack of attention disturb your tranquility right now? Imagine a future situation where you might have to deal with this kind of neglect again, but you will be ready with stoic resolve. You see what's going on with clarity and calmness, and you don't let it upset your peace. You keep your dignity and self-respect, so as we go through life, let's carry the stoic armor that protects our inner peace from the disregard of others. Let's remember that our self-worth is a fortress that can't be breached by the neglect or disregard of those around us. In this stable state, we find not only tranquility, but also profound freedom. The freedom to choose how to respond, stick to our values, and live with unwavering serenity amidst the unpredictable tides of human relationships. Number 3. Diminishing or disdainful comments. Epictetus, a famous Stoic philosopher, once said, "Remember that it's not what happens to you that matters, but how you react." Let's talk about something we've all dealt with. Cutting remarks from someone who seems to only want to take from us without giving anything in return. Imagine sharing your thoughts or accomplishments and someone either brushes them off or worse, mocks them. It's like they're trying to dim your light to make it seem less bright. But here's a Stoic twist. Their words or disdain are out of your control, but you can control how you react. Imagine you're a seasoned Stoic in ancient Rome, where public opinion was everything. If someone made disparaging remarks toward you, would you let it bother you? If you remember that your worth isn't based on what other people say about you, you won't need to shake your foundation. Within unassailable and purely yours, so when you encounter someone who's using you, not caring about your feelings, and they toss those diminishing comments your way, ask yourself, why give them the power to disturb my peace? Think about it. They throw words at you trying to get a rise, but you choose not to give them that power. You choose to respond with equanimity and poise. Now, I'm not saying it's easy. It's a practice, a daily moment-to-moment practice. Next time you face this situation, take a breath. Remember, you're the captain of your soul, the master of your thoughts. You can choose not to let their words penetrate your armor. By doing so, you will always be calm and steadfast in the face of all the negative comments you have to receive. That is also the wonderful human value that Stoicism wants you to be aware of. It's about recognizing what's in your control and what's not, and choosing to focus your energy on the former. So the next time someone's words aim to belittle you, smile, nod, and remember. Their opinions are just that, opinions, not definitions of your reality. You are the architect of your inner landscape. Build it strong. Build it with Stoic wisdom. Number 4. Absence in critical moments. Imagine you're in the middle of a storm and you turn around expecting to see a friend with you, weathering the storm together. But when you look, there's no one there. They've left you to face the tempest alone. This isn't just a test of your endurance. It's also a profound opportunity to learn more about yourself and grow. Now let's look at some Stoic wisdom. Stoicism teaches us that we can control how we react to things that happen to other people, like someone not being there when we need them the most. Your response, your emotions, and your inner peace are all out of your control when you think about a time when someone wasn't there for you. Did you feel let down? Of course you did. But let's see what Stoicism says we should do with these feelings. Stoicism has a strong lesson for us. Our inner peace and resilience shouldn't depend on others' presence or actions. So when you next find yourself alone in a challenging moment, remember that you possess a well of inner strength. Ask yourself, what can I control here? You can't control others' actions, but you can control your response, your determination, and your presence in your life. This Stoic approach doesn't mean you become an island indifferent to others. Rather, it's about recognizing what's truly within your power, your reactions, your mindset, your growth. And when you do that, you transform. You go from being a leaf tossed in the wind to being the tree deeply rooted and unshakable. No matter how strong the wind blows, in embracing this Stoic wisdom, you will see a way to find our inner fortress, our peace, regardless of who's with us or not. It's about discovering that even in the loneliest moments, We possess a wellspring of strength and resilience within us. That is the true power of Stoicism, finding serenity and strength within no matter the storm outside. Number 5. Persistent lack of respect. Our values are based on how much we respect our elves. Lawrence Stern, a philosopher, said that respect for others guides our behavior. But what happens when we're with someone who doesn't respect us? It's like offering a piece of your soul only to have it ignored or trampled upon. Let's look at a real-life example of a Stoic in ancient Rome who is disrespected, not just once, but as a constant tide in his daily interactions. Does he give up? No, he knows that the respect he gives himself is more important and within his control than the respect he gets from others. So the next time someone doesn't respect you, remember this Stoic wisdom. Not getting their approval or praise doesn't change your worth. It's something that can't be taken away unless you let them. Stoicism tells us to look inside ourselves to find our self-respect and to keep it alive no matter what other people think. Let's not let the shifting sands of other people's respect or disregard sway us. Instead, let's keep our sense of self-worth strong, knowing that the best respect comes from within and guides us through life's rough seas with grace and dignity. Now tell me, what would you do the next time someone treated you badly? Would you let it happen? What is your self-esteem? Would you like to be stoic? Understand that your self-respect is impregnable, a wall that no outside force can breach. Please share your answer in the comments section below. We are halfway through today's lesson. Your presence is a great source of encouragement for us as we try to teach more people the true values of Stoicism. Please like and share this video to share these lessons with your family and friends, or leave a comment. I appreciate my life. If you are ready for the journey with the next 5 lessons, number 6. Emotional manipulation. Using your emotions against you is the 6th sign that someone is only interested in using you and doesn't care about you at all. Freedom is the only worthwhile goal in life, according to the famous Stoic philosopher Epicurus. But how can we be truly free if we are caught in someone else's emotional manipulation? Imagine you're a ship trying to set sail, but your anchor is tangled in the deceitful depths of manipulation, blocking you from navigating the vast seas of life. Have you ever felt like someone was playing with your emotions like a fiddle, steering you this way and that, like a ship in a storm without a compass? That's what emotional manipulation is when someone uses your emotions to control your actions or decisions. How do you stay strong in such a storm? First, see the situation for what it is. Someone is taking advantage of your emotions, not your worth or the fact that you have feelings. Remember that your emotions belong to you. No one else should be able to direct or change your inner citadel. Stoicism teaches us to separate our inner state from outside influences. When someone tries to control your emotions, they're trying to break through your citadel and take over your inner domain. But if you're wise, you can see this for what it is: a test of your strength and independence. Ask yourself, what part of this situation do I have control over? This includes your choices, beliefs, actions, and beliefs. You have power over the manipulator, but you can't change what they do, so it's not worth your time or peace of mind to try to change them. The next time someone tries to emotionally manipulate you, take a deep breath and think about how strong you are on the inside. Remember that no one can make you feel bad about yourself without your permission, as Eleanor Roosevelt so eloquently put it. Stand tall, knowing that your emotional health is not a puppet that can be controlled by someone else's whims. By adopting this Stoic style, you give yourself the power to handle emotional manipulation with grace and fortitude, making sure that your inner citadel stays safe and a true reflection of your independence and resilience. Number 7. Selective availability. You are available, they are not. Marcus Aurelius, a wise man, once said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Let's apply this message to relationships, especially to people who show selective availability. People who are always there for you when they need you but nowhere to be found when it's your turn. Have you ever been in that situation? You're always there for someone, offering your time, ear, or shoulder, but when it's your turn, they're just not there. It's like you're a convenience store open 24/7 for them, but they're a boutique with erratic hours that's only open when it suits them. To understand how Stoicism can help you see this situation in a different way, think about how this makes you feel like you deserve to be angry or upset. Stoicism tells us what we can and can't control. We can't change what other people do, but we can change how we react, what we expect, and when we're available. When someone selectively becomes available, it's a sign that you shouldn't base your happiness on their appearance, but on strengthening your own resilience. Just like the wise Stoic, you can choose not to be upset by other people's inconsistencies, and instead focus on developing your inner peace and investing in relationships that are truly reciprocal. So when someone shows selective availability, it's a sign for you to reevaluate, not with anger, but with calm clarity that you deserve reciprocal respect. It's about setting boundaries that honor your self-worth and making sure that your kindness isn't taken for granted. By doing this, you're not just reacting. You're actually taking steps to surround yourself with people who value your presence as much as they value theirs. And that, my friends, is a step towards true inner freedom and tranquility. Number 8. Lack of genuine support. Have you ever felt the pain of being there for someone all the time only to be left alone when you needed someone to lean on? This is a sad but common experience that shows the harsh truth of one-sided relationships where genuine support is not returned. Now think about your own life. Have you been through something similar? It's normal to feel upset, disappointed, or undervalued, but Stoicism can help you find peace during these hard times by teaching you to focus on your ability to help others without expecting anything in return. Stoicism is a light of wisdom during these trying times because it teaches you that even though you can't change other people's actions or feelings, you can change how you react to them and how you see them. Not getting support from others doesn't make you less valuable. Think about a time in your life when someone you trusted let you down. Stoicism tells you not to see this as an insult, but as a chance to renew your dedication to virtue and independence. It makes you think, why do I give support? Is it out of gratitude or because it's the right thing to do? When you don't get support, remind yourself that your worth and peace of mind are not dependent on other people recognizing or returning the favor. You can choose peace over anger to find strength in your character and resolve. So the next time someone doesn't support you, stick to your Stoic principles and be kind and helpful, not because you expect something in return, but because it's in line with your values and virtues. By doing this, you're not only dealing with the problem of unrequited support, you're also building a strong, self-reliant spirit that learns to find fulfillment in giving rather than waiting to receive. This gives you a deep sense of freedom and contentment, knowing that your peace and happiness are not dependent on what other people do or don't do. Number 9. Superficial closeness. Friendship that lasts grows slowly. George Washington once said something that shows the difference between real relationship and the shallow roots of superficial closeness. Imagine taking time and care for each plant in your garden, but one day you learn that what you thought was a flourishing rose is actually a fake. It looks real from a distance, but up close it's clear that there's no depth, no real growth or life there. This situation isn't too different from our own experiences with people who seem close on the surface. They might seem like friends who are always there for the fun times, but when the storm comes, they're the first ones to leave, leaving behind no shelter or warmth. Now let's apply this to real life. Imagine a coworker who is always happy to meet up for lunch or a quick chat but never shows up when you really need help or support. This lack of complexity can make you feel confused and, well, used. This is where Stoic philosophy comes in handy. It teaches us that even though we can't change how deeply others commit to us, we can change how we react to them. We learn to value deep, meaningful relationships and not be upset by ones that turn out to be shallow. So what should you do the next time you meet someone who smiles all the time in good times but disappears when things get tough? Think about what you expect and tell yourself that you can handle things on your own. Stoicism isn't about making your heart harder, it's about understanding people and keeping your inner peace. If you adopt a Stoic mindset, you can handle the world of superficial closeness with wisdom and balance. You'll realize that your happiness isn't tied to the whims of moody friends, but to your own stable Stoic core. This is when you discover not only the joy of true friendship, but also the power of your own resilience and inner strength. Number 10, making you feel guilty. No one can make you feel bad about yourself without your permission. Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "Think about this as we look at the behavior of people who use you and don't really care about you, especially those who manipulate your emotions to make you feel guilty." This is an example of emotional exploitation in which superficial closeness is a tool and not a genuine bond. Imagine that you've always been the go-to person for a friend or coworker. You've always been there for them, listened, helped, and opened your heart. But when the roles are switched, they're noticeably absent, and even worse, they twist the narrative suggesting your requests for support are burdensome or unreasonable, leaving you draped in unwarranted guilt. This scenario isn't just uncomfortable, it's enlightening. Stoicism teaches us that our internal state, our emotions and reactions are within our control, even when others' actions are not. When someone attempts to saddle you with guilt, they're not just stepping over a boundary, they're attempting to erode your autonomy over your feelings. Now let's apply Stoic wisdom when faced with such manipulation to ask yourself, what is within my power? You can't control their actions or their lack of genuine concern, but you can control how you interpret and respond to these actions. You have the choice to recognize this manipulation for what it is, an external attempt to influence your internal world, and to refuse to let it unsettle you. Embracing this Stoic perspective doesn't mean becoming indifferent or uncaring. Instead, it's about cultivating a robust inner fortress, one that acknowledges the actions of others without letting them dictate your self-worth or emotional state. So the next time you encounter someone who tries to make you feel guilty while showing a lack of true care, remember that your Stoic armor isn't meant to hide your feelings. It's meant to give you the strength to see them. Beyond the superficial guilt trip and keeping your cool, this is the way to not only understand, but also practice Stoicism in the face of emotional trickery, which will keep your peace of mind no matter what other people are trying to do. Here are 10 signs that someone is only using you and doesn't care about you. People have a variety of relationships, including long-term friendships, romantic friendships, family relationships, short-term friendships, and more. No matter what kind of relationship you have with someone, it's important to communicate clearly. Remember that the goal of spotting someone who is using you and doesn't care about you isn't to hold grudges or come up with a plan to fight back. Instead, it's meant to help us understand and apply Stoic principles by focusing on what we can control, acting morally, and keeping our inner peace no matter what happens outside. If today's journey with the Stoic philosophy has moved you, please like the video and leave a comment. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future videos we post. Goodbye and see you again.